Welcome to my channel. This is Toro. If you're new, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. You can follow me as we build this, we go around this journey together. Today I would like to talk to you about something that is I've been thinking about it for a while, and I want us to talk about it. And I want to talk about reasons why relationships and friendship and marriages fail. And most of the time we try to fix things. We try to work on things that don't really, we know that it's never going to work. So many a times we enter into relationships thinking that Thank you for joining me today. This is Toro, and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be talking to you about why relationships and why friendship and marriages fail. There's so many reasons why they fail, and I'd like to talk about it today. And we'll see what the best we can to solve some of these problems. I know problems will be there, problems will not be solved, cannot be solved, drastically or completely, but at least we can do something about our day-to-day going and coming. So I'd like to talk about the reason why they fail. You see, I call something red lights and green lights and also yellow lights in relationships, and many a times we ignore those things. We ignore the green light, we ignore the red light, we ignore the yellow lights. And what do I mean by those lights? What do I mean by those lights? I mean that you enter into a relationship with a person, with somebody that you know that sometimes you see a red light, meaning there's kind of a character in that person, or the person is showing some signs that you know it's not going to help you. You know he's not going to change. She's not going to change. But it's like, because she's beautiful, because he's handsome, you just want to go, just go in and try to play the cards to see whether it's going to work or not. And there are so many reasons why they fail. Some people want a relationship, they enter into a relationship because the person has money, because they think that the person can take care of them, or they think that, somebody that my friends approve of. But I want to ask you, when you enter into a relationship, do you find peace in your spirit? Do you find peace in your heart? It's not about what your friend thinks, or what your parents think, or what your mom thinks. Especially mothers makes a lot of mistakes. You know, they make a lot of mistakes. Fathers see certain things that mothers don't see. We enter into relationship maybe because, the person is so beautiful. But let me tell you, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Beauty is not about what you see. Beauty is what the person exhibits. That is what we call beauty. Beauty is when it's not the outward appearance or the makeups and all the caps that the person might put on, or the kind of guy that you see, the way he walks, the way he dresses. That has nothing to do with a good relationship that will even lead to marriage. But I'm telling you, you need somebody who has a good character. Who has a good character. And whenever you see a green light, sometimes we ignore those things. Why? Because you can feel it in you that it's a green light. I mean, there's peace. But then at that time, that person might not even have money. Person might not have money. So you look at the present circumstance of that person to determine his future or her future. And that is where we make a lot of mistakes. That is where we make a lot of mistakes. And there are some people too who see you as the way you are, and also picture and see a future in you, and see a future in you, that this person, I can see that this person is a person of vision. This person has a vision. This person knows where he or she is going, so I can spend the rest of my life with. Some people also say that, oh, at least when I get married, when I enter into that relationship, that person will change. And I'm here to let you know that if you cannot change yourself, if you cannot change yourself first, how can you change somebody? They say things like, oh, I will change him. You will change who? Because you've not changed yourself. How can you change somebody when you have to change yourself? You have to be the first person to change. So these are red lights. These are stuff that we ignore. We ignore things. We ignore without looking into the future of that person to see whether we can spend the rest of our lives with that person. So many marriages have failed. And it's unfortunate that when people are in courtship, when they are boyfriend, girlfriend, they don't see certain things that they're supposed to see. But so when they come together, there's a problem. It's because somebody was hiding something. Somebody was hiding something. So then you come together as a couple, now married, now you see things like things that were hidden from you. Things that were hidden from you. Let me put it this way: it's like everybody was pretending to be something. Everybody was pretending to be something that they were actually not. That's why I've been telling the young people, don't marry because of feelings. Don't marry because of, oh, I'm growing old. Don't marry if you are not married. Listen to what I'm saying. Take your time. Marriage has nothing to do with age. I was married at the age of 24. I married when my wife was 22. That doesn't mean that you also have to marry, or you are older than me, so that means you have to rush into marriage. You see, these fingers are not the same. Yours may come in the morning, mine may come in the afternoon, or maybe dawn. So you have to take your time to do your research, because it is a journey. When you enter into that journey, when you enter into that agreement, I believe it's something that you don't have to back off. But many back off because of what they see, bad character. It's like somebody wants to be wiser than the other person. Somebody wants to keep, especially when it comes to finances. Somebody wants to keep his or her finances and hide it from the man or from the woman, and buy things that even the man doesn't even have no idea about. I heard a story about somebody a lady bought a house or I think built a house somewhere in Africa, and her husband never knew what was going on. He didn't know what was going on. So the man went home to Ghana, and then the wife's brother called him and said to him, do you know that your wife is building a house? It's all done. And I felt like telling you because I know you don't know. And that ended up the marriage. It ended the marriage. The marriage couldn't go on anymore. Finances plays a very big role in our society. Money in our marriages. Money is very important. But if you are not able to take care of it, if you are not able to be, kind of be careful of how you're gonna take care of when it comes to finances, it brings some kind of distrust, and at the end of the day, the results is going to be what? Divorce. There are so many things that we see, and there are sometimes you see the yellow light, and it's like you get ready to stop. There are times you need to stop. Okay, when you're in a relationship, thinking of getting married, there are times that you need to stop and assess your life and work on some things. It's like taking a car to the mechanic. After driving the car for some time, you take it to the mechanic so that the mechanic will fix the car or change the oil. The times you have to sit down, you have to put a stop to everything, say no to everything, and work on yourself. And sometimes it will work, and sometimes it will not work. There are times that when you see the green light and you feel in your spirit that this is it, let me go for it, even though the person doesn't have all together, let me put it that way. even though the person doesn't have all together. But you feel like this is the person that I need to I want to spend the rest of my life with. You go with that person and you start working on the vision. You start working on his vision. Because I always want to talk to you about men. How we need to exalt our men. How we need to push our men. How we need to bring them to the front. How we need to encourage them to do the things that they want to do. Because at the end of the day, honor is going to come to you as a woman. There's no way a good man will stand somewhere and say that if you helped him and say that my wife didn't play any role in this. If you do your best as a wife, you take care of him, to help him, to stand with him and support him, no matter what is going on in his life. And stop condemning him. Don't condemn him, but encourage him. I want you to know that he will fail many times. He will fail many times. He will try many things, but he will fail many times. But then it's like you discourage him for failing and saying things like, oh, you did this and it didn't work. There's nothing wrong with failing. I've been saying that failure is part of the success story. This is an advice. My thoughts on this: failure is part of the success story. Failure is part of your marriage. You will fail as a couple. You will fail many times. You see, it's never going to be on bed of roses every day, every time. I've had stories and stories and stories of people when they started their journey as a couple were living in their cars. At some point, some became bankrupt. They were evicted. Their jobs were taken away from them. Their dream job was taken away from them, but the woman stood with the man. We need to encourage such marriages and correct some things and fix some things, because we are not only building our marriages, we are also preparing for our children's marriages. So we have to do the best we can to point some things. And don't judge a man by what you see. Don't look at a man by what you see. I've seen men that 10 years back, they were nobody. Nobody. Then few years down the line, I was like myself as a man. I said, wow, look at him. Some were like skinny, like to the point maybe of death, but now you can see some kind of meat around them. I talked to a friend of mine a few years ago. She said, I'm looking for a husband. And she said, I rejected many men that came to me. I rejected, they wanted to marry me. I said, no. But now, can you find me somebody that at least I can help, I can change, no matter who he is? I said, I cannot do it. I cannot find you anybody. See, when you reject a green light to move forward, it will take you many years to fix the same problem. So I'm here just to advise you, to encourage you. Take good care of yourself. Take good care of the relationship that you have. Don't judge people by what they drive or where they live and thinking that they will take care of you. And many a times you go in, and as soon as the door is shut, life becomes hard. You face the reality of life. You face with the realities of life. Then you say to yourself that, oh, what have I done? Assume he wanted to marry me, but I said no. But now look at him with his family. And then when you allow those words, those things to come into you, that is where jealousy comes in. That is where jealousy comes in. And we need to work on our relationships. There are some people who think they are so smart, who think that they are so smart that they can outsmart you, and that they think that they can be slick. They think that they can work on you. They think that they can do things behind your back. I want you to know that you need to work on yourself. You need to work on yourself, because it's never going to get you to a good place. Don't be too smart in your dealings, in your relationships. There are friends who always call you whenever they need help. They only call you when they need help, or when they need you. When they don't need you, they don't call you. They don't even check on you. And I call this kind of relationship toxic relationships that you need to let go. If you're calling me because of what you need, because you need help, then you are not somebody that I should call a friend. But if you can call me and check on me and ask me about my family, and even like some of the things that I post on Facebook, or like when I post a picture, then it means that you are for me. Then it means that you are for me. Many relationships have failed. Why? Simply because somebody was trying to be smart. In our marriages, in our friendship, in our courtship, in all the dealings that we go through, somebody wants to be smart, and many a time is that it doesn't work. The relationship will end up in a ditch somewhere. These are my thoughts on what I'm thinking about. That is why I have this channel, just Toro, just to talk about some of these things. To talk about these things, to talk about the realities of relationships and courtship and marriages and what we go through. There are some people, they will never change. As a matter of fact, you cannot fix them. And when it's time for you to stop, when there's a red light, like what I'm wearing, the red shirt, you need to stop. And when it's time for you to be getting ready to stop, you need to stop. And when it's time for you, when you see the green light and it's time for you to move, you got to move. Because time will not wait. Time is running out. Time is running out. Time is running out. So you need to fix some things, deal with some things, and work on some things. And I believe that you get to a place where you have a good marriage. You have a good relationship. You have good contacts with people when it comes to business opportunities, so that you can be up there, so that you can be where you're supposed to be. Don't try to hide things. Don't try to assume things, because it's never going to work. It's not going to work. Don't assume things. Don't sleep for something to speak to you and you start thinking otherwise, or having some bad thoughts. Look at how far you've come. You've been through a lot in your relationship. Look at how far you've come.